Alright, so good to have you guys. And in today's tutorial, we're going to look at building a program that will help us calculate the least common multiple or the lowest common multiple of any given two numbers. Okay, looking back in our previous video, we looked at getting two inputs from one input line. So if you didn't watch that video, I'm gonna leave a link up here, or you look for the link in the description. Okay, so let's get on to today's tutorial. All right, over here I have a simple explanation of what is a multiple. Okay, so a multiple of any number is a product of that number by another whole number. So let's say multiples of 4. So we're going to start with 4 is a multiple of 4 because we can multiply 4 by 1. 8 is another multiple of 4 because we can multiply 4 by 2. So when we're looking at lowest common multiples now, or the least common multiples, I'm going to look at this one. These are multiples of 3. 3 by 1, we're going to get 3. 3 by 2, we're going to get 6. 3 by 3, 9. 3 by 4, we're going to get 12, and then so forth and so forth. All right, as you guys can see, a number has got endless multiples, okay? It has got endless multiples. The same with 4. 4 by 1, 4 by 2, and stuff like that. So all these are multiples of 4. So if we want to find the lowest common multiples of these two numbers, 3 and 4, so we're going to check on this list. So we have 3 and 4, and obviously they are not common. 6 and 8, obviously they are not common. This number 12 becomes the lowest common multiple because it's appearing in both numbers, okay? It's appearing on both sides. So that's what we are going to do with in our program today, the one that we're going to build. Okay, so without much further ado, let me get into the code. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rush through the code, design the code, and then I'll come back and explain. Okay. So I'm going to explain what this function is doing. The first thing we do is to define a function. Function definition in Python is we use the def keyword, and then we name our function, and then we put in parentheses like this, and then we put in a colon, and then this information from line 3 to line 12 is the body of the function. How do we know this is the body of the function? You see it's indented, okay? So that's what Python uses. Python uses what we call indentation, so it's important for you to properly indent your body. And then the first thing we do is obviously we get user input by using the input function. And then, like we said last time, if you want to get 2 user inputs on one line, we have to initialize 2 variables, and then we use the dot split function at the end. And then the next thing we do is we initialize another variable called counter. This is going to help us in our loop. We're going to use a while loop. All right, a while loop is used when you do not know how many number of times that you're going to loop through a given data. Okay, so here we're going to loop, I don't know how many times. Each time is going to be different. It's just like when you're searching the multiple of 2 and 4, you are likely to get it faster than when you are searching the multiple of 11 and 12. Okay, so each time this counter, these 2 conditions do not meet, you get to increase your counter by 1. Make sure you increase your counter. Otherwise, this loop is going to run continuously and it's not going to stop. Okay, so that's how important this counter is. So over here, we convert our input to integers. Since we said user input, when you use the input function, you always get strings. So we want to convert these into integers. So we use the int function. This is a built-in function. And then over here, we begin our, so this is our conditional statement. So in our conditional statement, we have a condition here. This is the first condition and another condition here. So we have 2 conditions. So when you use the word and is also another keyword. These 2 conditions have to be true for this to be true. Okay, so it's going to check the counter. Initially, the counter is 1. Modulo, this is a modulo sign. It checks for the remainder, okay, of dividing 2 numbers. So it's going to divide 1 into x and check for the remainder. Do we have a remainder? If the remainder is equal to 0, and the same thing here, if the remainder is equal to 0, then yes, we have a lowest common multiple. That's what this condition is checking. All right, so once you get that, we're going to break out of the loop. This is important, okay? You need to break out of the loop, otherwise it's not going to stop. All right, and then obviously we say the counter has to increase each time this condition is false. It has to keep on trying and trying and trying. And so over here, once we exit the loop, this is what we're going to print out. We're going to print the counter, the last number that was on the counter, and then it's going to say is the LCM, or the lowest common multiple of x and y, of which x and y would have gotten them here. Okay, so we can try and run this. Let me save this and see what happens. Let's run this function. Yep. Let's try 2 and 4 for a start. 2 and 4 for a start. Boom, we have 4 is the lowest common multiple of 2 and 4. That's true. All right, and then we try 10 and 12. Sorry. Boom, 60 is the lowest common multiple of 10 and 12. Let's try 5. Here we're supposed to run the script. Let's try 23 and 27. Boom, 621 is the lowest common multiple of 23 and 27. Let's try another one. Let's try 32 and 38. Boom, 608 is the lowest common multiple of 32 and 38. So as you can see, we have built a program that's working. You can get lowest common multiples of any given 2 numbers that you can pass in. All right, so I hope you guys learned something. You can actually improve something, on this program. You can improve on a number of aspects. The input, you can improve the input. Like, let's say somebody enters a non-digit number, a non-digit, entry. What's going to happen? So you need to take care of that. There's quite a lot you can actually improve on this one. So I want to thank you for your time. Thank you. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, and also if you have any questions or comments, do leave them in the comment section. All right, so I hope to see you in our next video. I'm out. See you again. Bye bye.